Welcome, everyone, or shall I say also bonjour, buenos dias, buenos tardes, wherever you might be located. And welcome to the second annual Therefore Virtual Fusion event. We are super excited. We're expecting a packed house. In fact, we have a record-breaking number of registrations for this year at 350. So we're really excited about that. I am Jen Garcia with Therefore Regional, and super excited to be here alongside my wonderful colleague, Mr. Tommy.
Hey, hi everybody. Oh, there we go. How's everybody doing today? Thanks so much for joining. We are so excited to have you guys all here with us today. We've got a great agenda, some wonderful success stories. Yeah, I'm just pumped. It's been a year long waiting to see you guys again, since last February. So we're excited to be here and really excited to share with you the future of Therefore and what's all to come. So thank you.
Excellent. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead. We're going to turn it over to Kano, and he's going to give us a little bit of information about the event today and walk us through the agenda. So, Kano.
Perfect. Thank you, Jen. Thanks, Tommy. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kono. I'm the head of digital engagement here at Therefore. Of course, same as Jen and Tommy, I'm really happy to be with everyone on this call today. It's been such a long time, certainly since we've been able to see everyone in person, but I'm glad that at least we're able to do this through a digital event. So before we get started with today's content, I just wanted to go over a few housekeeping things. So first thing to remember is all the participants on this call are muted. As Jen said, there's something like 350 people registered. So obviously for a good sound quality, everyone is muted out of the box. But we do want to hear from you. So please ask us questions using the Q&A function in Zoom. So if you're joining us from your laptop, from a desktop, the Q&A function should be on the bottom bar of your screen. And if you're joining us from a cell phone, if you tap your screen, you should see a bar rise from the top where you also have the Q&A function. So just use that. We'll answer the questions at the end of each session. So to get started, I just wanted to quickly review the agenda. So first thing we're going to do is what we're doing now, an intro by the Therefore team. We're then going to jump straight into the success stories by Therefore customers. After that, we're going to be looking at a tech demo of some awesome Therefore features and their application. After that, we're going to hear also about Therefore technology vision, just our general concept from us of how we see the product developing and our general strategy and vision for that. Finally, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to see if there's any Q&A questions left, and that should be it. So we should be done in about between an hour and a half and 2 hours. If we make good time, we may be able to do it within an hour and a half as well. So let's do something first. Now, before we go to the rest, what I wanted to do, just as a bit of an icebreaker, we wanted to ask you, our audience, some questions and just to see some of your responses. So for this, I have a poll set up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up the poll first, and I will share this with you. So I would ask that you all participate. Once you see the poll pop up on your screen, there's going to be 4 questions. I'll have Jen and Tommy go through them. I would ask you to vote and just let us know your responses. So here we go. Poll is launched.
All right, excellent. Okay, so we got some good polls here for you. We got 4 of them coming at you. One of which is, which region are you joining us from? So are you from the US, Canada, Latin America, or maybe from somewhere else? We'd love to know.
Tommy, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Good. The old Verizon joke. No, the next question we have is, how long have you been working with Therefore? Is this something new to you? Have you been, are you a veteran with the solution? So curious to know the amount of time you've been working with our solution.
Excellent. And next up is very similar to number one, except less country and more where are you situated? Are you at home? Are you in the office? Maybe you're on a beach somewhere or joining us from somewhere else.
And then finally, to close this up and wrap us up here is, what part of the event are you most excited for? Is it customer stories, the vision and technology demonstration, something else, or just, as happy as I am to be here and see it all and get to share it with you guys. So looking forward to your responses.
All right, so wow, basically almost everyone voted. Awesome, fantastic. Let's 10 more seconds on the clock. I'll close it out at exactly 1:40. If you haven't voted, vote now or forever hold your vote. All right, so I'm going to close the polling now and let me share the results so you can all see. Oh, some surprising results. Let's take a look.
Ooh, okay, excellent. So we've got Canada representing today at about 50% of the attendees. Good showing, just behind from the US. And excellent welcome to our Latin American Caribbean partners. And look at that, we have about 4% of people joining us from other places outside of the Americas. Pretty awesome. Happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks. And, looking at the next question, it's even just as interesting. So we've got folks, more than 50% of the folks on the call here have been working for 3 or more years with Therefore. So it's great to see you guys back. I'm sure this isn't your first fusion at this point. But it's awesome to see those numbers and that we do have people that have been working with us for such a long time and, still have folks that are new to it and really getting their feet wet with experience.
Excellent. And this question and responses I actually love. This is very telling. So we have the majority of people that are joining us from home, followed by those in the office. So we definitely still have those that are working from the home offices. And I would love to know the 1% who's working from the beach, because I would like to join you. So let's talk afterwards. Excellent. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, we're really excited. So we've also got 60% of everyone looks like they're really excited about the entirety of the presentation and event as a whole. So we couldn't be more excited to really get started here. We're going to have some great customer stories for you, a great presentation through our technology review. So I can't wait to get you guys more involved and really kick this thing off today. So thank you guys for participating in this, and let's get moving.
All right, let's keep moving then. So I'll close out the poll. And I will say that part of the reason why we asked that survey question is also to see how many new people are joining us, some people who are just getting started with Therefore. Good to see it was a nice amount of people. So to those of you who are just getting started, who maybe this is your first interaction with Therefore, of course, welcome. We have a special piece just for you to give before we dive into the details of today's session. Just a quick introduction to Therefore, who we are, what we do. And for this, I'll ask Jen to take over.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kano. Move my little screen here for a moment. Okay, and hopefully everybody has a visual on my presentation.
All good, Jen.
Okay, I'm assuming you said yes, Kano?
Yeah, yes.
Excellent. Very good. Well, I have the honor of giving you a quick overview on Therefore. So what is Therefore? It's kind of mentioned before we dive in. We're going to have a really great discussion on the vision and future of Therefore, technology, where we're going, where we are. But let's just take a second, take a pause, and talk about, what is Therefore. And judging by the poll results, it definitely seems like we have some newbies in the house, which is awesome. So I'll give you just a quick bit of information here. For those of you that have worked with Therefore maybe a year or so in, you have this information, might be familiar, but I say it's always good for a refresher. So let's dive in. So firstly, Therefore is an information management solution. So this can mean many things. We'll get into what that looks like and what that means for your business. But what I wanted to mention here is that Therefore is sold exclusively through Canon and Canon partners. So this is really important. I know that we have a wide mix of Canon partners that are on the phone, on the call today, as well as customers that are working with those Canon reps and Canon partner reps. So Really, really awesome. Last thing I want to mention here, just in case you're in some sort of race for high dollar money in a trivia game, fun little fact, therefore is sold, implemented, and used on every continent. So just a little fun fact for you, along with the Americas sold and offered in other areas. So that's really, therefore is an information management solution. You see where we're sold and how we're sold through Canon. But really, what is Therefore? So Therefore is an enterprise-grade service platform, right? So we're here to serve, we're here to help. And what this does is it allows you to, first of all, manage your information as an asset. This is important because you now can start using your information that you have stored in Therefore safely and securely in a centralized location. You now can use that information to help drive your business forward. What you're doing is these files that you have, maybe paper sitting in a file cabinet, or maybe electronic file that's sitting on your computer or on a network somewhere, and oftentimes very hard to get to, you now can start actually doing something with that information and with those documents. And when you do that, what that's allowing you to do is to run and optimize your business processes. Super important. When you do this, you have full line of sight into your information, into your documents, and this is going to help you streamline your business, right? So now we're having just documents all over the place. You're not really doing anything with them. Now you can really start leveraging them to see what's going on inside of your business, right? You're streamlining your workflows. This includes even using things like Eforms, Therefore Eforms, and even more formalized workflows that Therefore offers. And what this is going to do is the old adage, right? You want to be able to work smarter and not harder. And Therefore is going to allow you to do that and help you along the way. And in turn, what you're going to be able to do is gather business analytics. So how fantastic is this? This is where you get the visibility into what's happening within your organization, whether it's good, whether it's bad, right? You're going to be able to see. And you can do this through formalized reports. You can also do this even through the Therefore dashboard, which is really fantastic. So from here, you can really get a sense of any areas where you need to pay attention to. And if you need to make any quick business decisions, you can absolutely do that because you have all the information at your fingertips. Start measuring success, using the metrics, really getting into the KPIs, and really being able to understand the business and to make improvements where you might need to. So when we come full circle all together, Therefore is really much more than just a location to put your documents. It's more than, for example, cloud storage. So it's a platform where really you can elevate your business, right? Especially in time that we just had, the year and a half we've gone through, which has been crazy. It's been very hard. But with Therefore, it allows you to stay connected with your team, no matter where they are. You can still collaborate. So as we saw from the poll today, we have some that are at home. We have some individuals that are working in the office, and there are probably some who are doing both, right? Coming into the office a few times a week. So you can really leverage Therefore, even in these trying situations and tough times, to really keep your business going and to help it thrive. And then just a quick bit here on infrastructure. We do offer on-prem, and we also offer cloud version, which is hosted by Microsoft Azure. So we love the cloud, but there's a time and place for everything. So we give options with Therefore. And then quickly here, 6 key functions of Therefore, start to finish. We start with capture. So this is really important, many different ways to get information into Therefore. It could be our capture client, it could be connectors, it could be third-party solutions, it could even be our eForms. Once it's in Therefore, then you have access. So anytime, anywhere it's your data, you can get into it. And that data you can be guaranteed is going to be safe and secure with Therefore. So we take that really, really seriously in safeguarding the information in that centralized repository. Automation, we talked a little bit about this in the graphic that we saw just a minute ago, right? Being able to automate processes and really streamline the business processes that you have in the organization. And manage, right? So it really comes down to managing the information. As I'd mentioned before, key term, managing the information is an asset. really important. So take that information, take those documents, and now you can start doing something with them. And just to reiterate what I said earlier, here's where you can analyze, right? Dashboard, our Therefore dashboard is so awesome. So if you're familiar with it, I'm sure you would agree. If not, ask your Canon rep, take a look at it. You're going to love it, guaranteed. And just one quick note here, Therefore is scalable. So I want to make a quick note for businesses, for Canon reps, for customers. If you've taken on Therefore, you know, if you're interested and haven't taken Therefore on, it doesn't matter if you're small or big. Therefore is going to be able to accommodate and to work with you. And finally, Therefore gives you really 5 core benefits. And the first is productivity, right? So you're going to be able to recoup some of the time that was spent searching for documents, managing those chaotic processes, and being able to be reactive, responding to your customers' needs, responding to vendors, whatever it is that you're doing within Therefore in a timely manner, right? This is really important. Visibility, we talked about it with reporting, and really just knowing what's going on within the business, right? So we've taken just housing your documents to a whole new level. And in turn, everything is secure, right? Keeping it safe, confidential, and also if something were to happen, Therefore gives you that one location that you know you can go to get those documents. They're not sitting in the file cabinet that's just unfortunately gone through a fire. You have it safe and secure with Therefore. And to finish up, flexibility. So security is probably the #1 thing, right? And obviously we live in a day and age with cyber attacks, so it's really important that Therefore is secure. But one of the other key things that I'll leave you with that's really important and is evidenced by the fact that we work with so many different types of businesses, industries, logistics, healthcare, education, legal, so much that can be done with Therefore, we are flexible. So we are not just a one fits all type solution. If you have a need, we're going to work, Canon's going to work to get you that really well-tailored solution, and Therefore has all the pieces and components, as we took a quick look at here, that will hopefully, allow you to, as we talked about, take your business to that next level. At the very least, continue to thrive and to grow, especially when we have these crazy times that we live in. And so hopefully you were able to get a little something today. I know as a quick bit on Therefore. If you still have questions, comments, please get with your Canon rep, and they'll be happy to walk through you, provide you with a demo, and give you more information. Excellent. Okay, so I also had the honor to introduce a featured speaker. This is our fearless leader, Michael, who is going to share with you a little bit on how we see the future, what our strategy is, and really what we're doing and how we intend to meet that. So I'm gonna go ahead and quit my share here, and I'm gonna turn it over to Michael. So super excited to have you provide us with some words of wisdom.
Thank you, Jen. I'm Michael from Therefore. I'm truly honored today to welcome you from all over the Americas. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with us. And please let me share my opening remarks. We are living in great times. We are now firmly in a digital world, and we are very optimistic about this decade. And our contribution is to make you successful in the present and in the future. I will share with you how we deliver now and where we are going. Now, partnership starts with listening to you. Our team is passionate about building the right tools for the future. It's all about what you need, and we love to hear from you. Success in this digital world is no longer about technology only. We want to be the partner for you to make it really work effectively and efficiently, a partner that really delivers. Let's start with strategy. This is our long-term plan for success, and we work every year to refine it. On this topic, we have a simple and consistent message. Therefore is the platform for real-time business. We understand you have a business to run, and we want to give you a reliable and scalable platform to grow and give you the peace of mind to help you to focus on your core business. This is working now, as we will hear later today from our customers, and how it's delivering for their business. Now, what about tomorrow? Where are we going? How do we help you to get ahead of the game and grow opportunities with you for the long term? There are a few factors to consider. The first factor is knowledge. Today, collaboration is normal in the tech business. We will integrate and collaborate in the cloud. For example, packaging microservices and making them available for you with a clear cost model. We can use here the expertise of our team to be a technology consolidator, packaging technology for the best way to use. We will work every day to be closer to you, both in geography and expertise solution specialists in the Canon network. The second factor is time. Packaged cloud applications for instant productivity. This is all about best practice and speed of rollout. We can lead here with speed. Now, the third factor is money. It's all about making it right for you at the right price. Our ambition is to be the best in return of investment. We want to lead in reliability and cost effectiveness, and we do so by investing in knowledge, people, and sharing business practice. All of this, we can only make work with great people who have the spirit that therefore delivers and focus on what you get. So what do you get? For businesses, we deliver results. For people, we deliver trust. Thank you for being our customer. Enjoy the conference.
Thank you so much, Michael, for those inspiring words. Our goal at Therefore basically is to make you members of the Therefore community. So whether you're our customer, whether you're our partner, Canon, or if you're someone who's just getting to know Therefore, our goal is to make you successful by delivering results that matter. And as Michael just mentioned, we strive to be a trustworthy partner for our customers who rely on our solutions to run their businesses. And for this reason, we've arranged for you to hear 3 stories today about some Therefore customers and the successes they've had. So Tommy, do you mind, please, could you start us off with this next exciting session?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kono, and thank you, Michael. It's great to see the vision and collaboration really coming together, and what a great way to kick that off. So what I'd like to do now is introduce Nancy DeMeo from Canon. She's part of the DIS team and Director of Business Development for them. And she's going to be introducing an organization really who loves designing new solutions to help the needs of electrical system engineers and solutions which really go far beyond in the technology of the power grid. So Nancy, I'm happy to introduce yourself so that you can kind of present what's going on here, the story that we have here.
Thank you, Tommy, and thank you for stealing my thunder on the customer themselves, but that's okay. I'm gonna start my video and I'm gonna share my screen here. And so if you can all confirm for me, once you can see the PowerPoint presentation.
You're good to go, we can see it.
Great. So as Tommy mentioned, my name is Nancy DeMeo, and welcome to all of you joining the Therefore Fusion Digital Summit. I've been working with Therefore since its inception in the US, and with my extensive background in business process automation, the Therefore vision in supporting information management is key strategic driver on how Canon can help our customers going forward. Really important to us. And so I'm excited to share with you a customer story of a business transformation using Therefore. So let's dive into the engineering and manufacturing company. So as Tommy mentioned, they've been evolved since 1905, so initiated in the 1900s, and they are known for their creative engineering solutions and designs. They continue to advance their research and development activities, ensuring a quality manufacturing and design process. So it's not surprising that that company desired to improve their administrative organizational process with a focus on accounts payable automation, which traditionally is a very paper-intensive manual process with many repetitive steps. So about their transformation. before the transformation, so to speak. The company was looking to improve their business operations and to streamline the business process for accounts payable automation. That before process encompassed a high volume of paper and manual processing. Even though many vendors have now migrated to sending invoices electronically for payment, without digital workflow, the manual and paper-driven invoice process remains. With a manual and paper-based process, efficiency was impacted tremendously. Emails were printed, piles of paper were maintained during the process of the processing of that invoice. Accounts payable processors received an invoice, routed it either the paper or through electronic via email, received business feedback either through the email or paper, telling them how to code that invoice, how to associate the accounting to it. And then ultimately they would manually enter the invoice once everyone was approved that invoice for processing into their ERP system, which is JD Edwards. Finally, once they followed through and paid that invoice, they retained a paper system that was file management. So very intense process. So if you look at it from the key, ultimate business driver of the invoice automation project was to increase the efficiency, traceability of that business process. There was a need to instill a reliable mechanism for managing the end-to-end process seamlessly with process governance and controls. One of the fundamental needs was to implement an automated routing workflow, gathering information along the way in a structured format and maintaining audit controls, a key factor in any financial related application. So let's dive into the use case a little bit. The total solution encompassed an integration solution of intelligent capture powered by Iris Extract to intelligently extract data from seamlessly semi-structured and unstructured forms. The dynamic workflow was based on department associated with the invoice, the type of invoice, and the amount of the invoice to derive the approval routing. So there was not one single routing process, but a derived process based on information that is captured throughout the solution. Key element of this implementation, which we'll go into in a little bit deeper, is the eForm. So we talked about that initially during the entrance of this summit. The eForm was routed around to business users, coders, approvers, allowing a response via the email versus entering directly into the Therefore system. Very critical for efficiency and effectiveness, especially as higher up the chain you went for an approval process. The integration used REST calls that is available in Therefore 2020, along with robotics process automation or RPA technology being called through REST calls from Therefore to create records directly into the ERP system, JD Edwards. In addition, image enablement of the ERP, JD Edwards, to allow users to actually see the invoice that was stored in the content repository within Therefore directly from within the ERP, making again another seamless impact to the business process. So in summary, the overall solution implemented fosters a streamlined business process, leveraging workflows across various steps in the business process and across all company departments that are processing invoices for payments. So it truly was focused on maximizing the efficiency with an integrated solution. So what are the impacts? What does the solution look like to the end users? You see here the business process flow post-implementation. This process overview shows all of the key elements of the end-to-end process. This fosters best technology fit to create a robust process and automatic solution, leveraging best of breed functionality to improve each step in the business process. All of the yellow shaded boxes represent the powerful Therefore functionality used within the business process. The complex routing, coding, and approval process has been simplified by the power of Therefore while using valuable data throughout the process to create the record in the ERP system, eliminating key data entry. That eForm that I spoke about before was very critical in the adoption of this application. It was one of the most important aspects of the overall process improvement. The business absolutely needed to be able to approve invoices via email rather than an end user entering into the system to approve. Added to the complexity of the need was the ability to allow end users throughout the process to add, modify, or delete account coding, all while keeping the security and integrity of the data previously processed and creating that ultimate record. No seamless and easy task, but with the power of Therefore and the collaboration of Therefore, we were able to really produce benefits for the solution. So what are some of those key benefits? Well, exploiting the power of Iris and Therefore working together to create a seamless workflow and business process automation, we've eliminated the reliance and working from paper, which ultimately saves time and effort in the overall accounts payable process. We've added the visibility into the process while still maintaining control, and we've enhanced the overall security from the end-to-end process by keeping it electronic rather than relying on a paper-based process. Ultimately, the process has now become a validation and exception process rather than an intensive manual data entry process. This allows the accounts payable team and other business users time to focus on other activities that are critical to their business operations. So a lot of key benefits there. Ultimately, what are our next steps here? Well, in any business process information and automation solution, it is only the beginning upon the initial implementation. So the first thing we need to do is look at refining that workflow, enhancing the overall business process transformation. Learning from the initial automation drives insights into how to further improve the business process. And we've already started to work with the customer to identify things on how they want to improve that, that ultimate workflow process to gain even further insights and efficiencies in their process. Another key thing that was mentioned before, incorporating workflow reporting and dashboards of the current solution deployed. We need to be able to look at what's happening. We need to be able to show the customer exactly how their process is working, any impacts that they're having in that process, where the bottlenecks are to continue to refine that process. Potential expansion. They've already talked about the concept of how they might deploy the developed solution to other areas within the organization, perhaps across the globe as necessary. And ultimately, how can they work to instill, therefore, in other processes, potentially their manufacturing process? Another very paper-intensive process to be able to ensure that all of their processing is working. As you saw when we first introduced them, they have an ISO standard. Well, in any ISO standard, repeatability in process and governance is key, and therefore information management certainly has a business play in that particular process. So that is our summary. We could probably talk hours about that particular implementation, but we did want to give you just some highlights of how Therefore has impacted one of our customers. And certainly thank you for your time, and hope that you can see the power of Therefore and the true benefits automation can bring to complex.
So well said, Nancy. Thank you so much for that. And this is a really prime example. I think this is great to really see, as was referenced earlier, with streamlining processes, that you can really use Therefore, leveraging eForms, leveraging connections with things like ERP systems, JD Edwards, other connections like that. So hopefully you'll take away, oh, this is awesome, right? Wheels are turning, whether you're a Canon rep or whether you're a customer. Maybe this sparks something to let you know that Therefore can really be helpful for large organizations, complex needs, perhaps something like this. And they can also be useful if someone really is just looking to go through a digital transformation. And so that actually brings me to our next speaker. So thank you again, Nancy, for sharing with us. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead then and turn this over to our next presenters. So luckily we have actually 3 of them. So up next is going to be T Customs. And I'm super excited about this story. They come from the US in the Western region. And they're going to share a little bit about how Therefore has helped them, especially through the pandemic, and getting them started on the digital transformation journey. As an added bonus, we actually also have James Borland, who is the Canon Solutions America executive, sales executive that works with the team at T Customs with Darren and with Ricardo. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to James. He's going to get us started, give us some information, and then sit back, relax, and enjoy, because we're going to get some great bits of info directly from T Customs with Darren and Ricardo. So if you guys want to go ahead, pop on your cameras so we can see your smiling faces. And James, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Jen, so much. I'm just trying to turn on my camera here. It says I cannot start my video, so I just want to point that out as a little technical difficulty. I'm probably oh, here we go.
Got it.
Now we're live. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say good morning, good afternoon, and to some others, good evening. It is an honor and a privilege to be here today. I am so excited to talk about one of my favorite companies I've been working with now for over 3 years, T Customs, and we've brought on the same people I've been working with since day one, Darren and Ricardo. And I'm just going to pull up a couple slides. I'm only going to show 3 out of a deck of 50, so I hope it's not going to be too time consuming for everybody. Let me just share my screen real quick. There we are. So a little bit about me, and then we'll talk about T Customs for a brief moment as well. I want to take us back in time and talk about where we started with the company before Therefore was there, what led to how Therefore was implemented, and where we are today as far as what happened right before COVID hit, and of course where we're at now and where we're moving into the future. So I've been with Canon now for 5 years. I'm located out of Los Angeles, California in the United States, not too far down the street from where T Customs is also headquartered in Los Angeles, California, also in the United States. We've got Darren Wells on the presentation with us today. He is the IT manager there. And we also have the privilege of welcoming Ricardo as well. He is their operations manager. And T Customs, they are a customs brokerage organization. They're a medium-sized business. And bottom line, what they do is whenever inventory comes into the US through container ships overseas, China, Southeast Asia, around that area, that inventory needs to get processed into the United States. And a lot of these overseas companies rely on a local middleman, T Customs in this case, to process their goods in a fast, accurate, and compliant manner. So T Customs grows their business by helping their clients overseas bring in their inventory so that we can enjoy that product from our homes and offices. So just briefly a little bit about T Customs before they had Therefore. So very similar to the last story we saw from Nancy, T Customs lived in a world of manila folders. And I'm pretty sure there's companies here today who do the same thing. They print out paper or it comes in through the mail. They start a folder, and now this folder is going to move around the office and be shared among X amount of people for different approvals, signatures, gathering of more information, and essentially building this file to close it out into one final packet. And then this information might be sent out back to a customer as a final copy, and of course stored in their own records for repository and compliance. Anyway, so lost my train of thought there. So what led to Therefore with the implementation of this organization was converting these manila folder processes into a 100% digital format. And what I mean by that is previously needing to print, rescan, and all of that has now completely gone digital, where we are no longer needing to print. We can print if we need to as an absolute emergency, but right now we're operating without needing to print, which is just so exciting. So I want to show on the next slide where we started with their configuration and show the growth of this organization. Now, going back to when COVID started, the really exciting part of this story is the business continuity of how Therefore literally saved their business. And those are the exact words from Darren, who's on the call today. And both him and Ricardo are going to have a moment to share their experience with Therefore after I show you their journey they've gone through together. So the pre-COVID conditions is they had around 20 employees working in the office. When they started with Therefore, they had a on-premise version, which goes on their server, called Essentials Edition. And they went with this version because they needed to have a workflow. And the workflow is allowing their information to move about their business throughout their staff so they can automatically approve and have visibility of the information as it moves through the organization and ultimately lands in the repository, and also a copy gets sent out to their customers. In addition to that, we put in a capture solution so that we can more fast grab and capture this information and also move it through the process. And I know Ricardo is more especially excited about the workflows and the capture component, so I'm sure he's going to have some good words to share about that. Now, moving fast forward to today, after COVID started, you can see here we had over a 50% growth, not only in the organization's staff and revenues, but also the need for the configuration of their Therefore system. They've upgraded to a new edition called Enterprise. And main reasons around that is they needed to add what's called a portal, because their clients wanted a easier way to find the information that they're sending to T Customs. That's a tongue twister there. So bottom line, when T Customs clients is sending in their information, this portal allows them to submit it through the portal. And at any given time of the process, they can log into the portal, see where the information's at and who has it, what's being done with it. And of course, download their own copies at any given time. So in addition to that, we're incorporating some new workflows to automate the approval process along the way. And of course, send daily logs, which is really exciting. So their clients are going to be able to get a daily log of what was submitted at the end of each day to just improve the accountability and visibility of the process. So that's a synopsis of showing the timeline here. I want to open the floor to Darren first to share a few words, and then we'll go to Ricardo to share a few words, and then I'll wrap it up from there.
Hello. We use massive paper and we needed a paperless solution. So we chose Therefore. In beginning of 2020, we start kicking it off, we start using it. And when COVID started, we had to go work at home right away. And we had only a few days to send the whole company home. And we set up a remote network, and I have no idea if we were using paper, how we would do it. I just, there's no way. So we used it Therefore. It was extremely easy. And then when we start working, our business increased like crazy. And because other businesses could not function during the pandemic at the beginning. And I'm just grateful we thought ahead. We didn't know the pandemic was going to happen, but we were just trying to save some paper and make it easier. And I was just really happy this really saved our business. I don't know what else we'd do.
Thank you, Darren. That's so awesome. Ricardo, do you want to share a few words?
Yes. Hi, my name is Ricardo. I manage the operations at T Customs Broker. I just want to start off by saying thank you to the Therefore organization for inviting us to this event. Just to add on to what Darren has already shared, when the pandemic hit, no one really knew how bad or how long it was going to affect us. I never imagined our process being paperless. I've been in this company for over 13 years. It's always been paper. I did not see it being 100% paperless. Luckily, we had Therefore paperless system in place just before they issued the stay-at-home mandate, and we were all sent to work from home, which is something else that was uneasy for us since we've never worked from home. During the pandemic, our volume actually doubled in work, which allowed us to hire on more people, more team members. And using the paperless system, the whole training remotely was all new to us. But because it was paperless, I didn't have to be there with somebody else looking at the same document. We were able to share documents or view documents at the same time in different locations. Some of this additional volume that came in, we would ask some of the new customers, why are they switching brokers, or why are they looking for a new broker? Some of them mentioned that their current broker wasn't operating, which made us very thankful, that and grateful that we had therefore to keep our doors open. We are currently, like as Jimmy said, we are on the West Coast. We currently just hired somebody on the East Coast who is very qualified, which is another opportunity that we now have using paperless system, because this would never be an opportunity for us if we were using paper. We would not be able to expand our horizon looking for qualified people outside of our local area. So this is a great benefit to switching over to the paperless system. Currently we're using a workflow that integrates both the accounting and the operations process or departments. Just using therefore and the ease of moving the files between person to person or department to department has been very efficient for us. One of my favorite parts of therefore is I always know where the file is at any given time. Our files go through so many hands. We sort of have an assembly line set up for our process. So it goes through so many hands. And just for a quick story, one day I had one of my colleagues come over to my office with a little, frustrated face. So I said, "What's going on?" He tells me, "WTF?" And I'm like, "What's wrong?" He says, "Where's the file?" He goes, "WTF, where's the file?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. Let's go ask everybody else." So we got up, looking for this file. This was a very frequent episode for us, looking for a file. So like, "Where's the file? Where's the file?" This doesn't happen anymore with Therefore. This is one big time saver for us. Usually the file ended up on the desk from the person that was looking for it originally, but it happened very frequently, going through so many hands. So that has been a big time saver for us. We have access to those files no matter who has it, who the files is assigned to. And then we have since then have added additional therefore services such as portal, the portal that Jimmy was mentioning, where our customers are now uploading documents into our file. So that's even more of a time saver for us, where we are not the ones adding these documents to the file. They're just directly being inserted into the file by our customer. They have live access to the current processes, current documents, everything that we have set up for them. Just integrating therefore into our process has been a time saver and definitely a lifesaver for us.
Ricardo, thank you so much for sharing those words. Darren as well. I mean, the statement you made to me last March when COVID hit, that literally therefore has saved our business, is just so incredible. And just hearing your testimony, Ricardo, of all your experiences of what your staff is going through is just truly a remarkable and exciting story, to say the least. So with that, I just want to say thank you again to the Therefore team for inviting and welcoming us onto this Fusion event. It's been an honor and a privilege to speak and be here today. So thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you so much to James, Ricardo, Darren. I'm super excited for this story. Hearing things of saving business and, so many businesses unfortunately had to close, and it really makes me happy. It makes me sad, but it makes me happy that we are able to help businesses that are using Therefore to, number one, potentially stay in business, also to grow. A 50% growth is incredible during something like a pandemic where, you know, they had to in essence scramble to work from home. And thank goodness for Therefore, I mean, they were starting on their digital transformation journey and kind of got a quick boost to get there. And I love it. And you know what? WTF? Where's the file? No longer a thing, which is which is great. So thank you so much for the story. I hope everybody was able to get something out of that from the Canon side and from the customer side. I'm also now happy to introduce our third and final speaker. And coming to us from the Austin, Texas area is Scott Hockaday, also with Canon Solutions America. He's got a really great story he's going to share with a customer, newer customer, with some customized options and workflow and such that they're utilizing to help, again, pandemic related. So hopefully everybody will get some good information. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Scott. Looking forward to the presentation.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. Let me move my deal over here. All right, are you guys able to see it?
We gotcha.
Awesome. Well, hello, my name is Scott Hockaday. I'm with Canon Solutions America. I'm the branch sales manager here in Austin, Texas. Today, I'm going to present on BRC Recovery, a customized Therefore check-in solution we created. First, BRC was founded in 2006 in Austin, Texas to provide treatment for chronic relapsers and the treatment resistant. BRC offers a multi-phase holistic healing approach focusing on the continuum of human care, resulting in the transformation of mind, body, spirit required for lasting addiction recovery. So prior to Therefore adoption, BRC, along with many other organizations, didn't have a mechanism to track or monitor COVID-19 related symptoms from their employees and visitors. So while addressing the initial pain point, we also found additional initiatives within BRC that we can expand upon with our solution. One of which was a manual visitor registry. Essentially, users and visitors would come in and sign on a physical sheet. The problem is it was kind of on an honor system, whether they checked in, checked out. There wasn't a great audit trail in place. It wasn't digitized. It was more challenging to recover if previous dates needed to be reconciled. So that was an initiative that we brought on. And finally, there's a potential for a lack of security without having something in place. Our Therefore solution. Initially, we addressed BRC's COVID-19 concern with a pre-configured SMB application of Therefore check-in. What that is essentially is a pre-screen questionnaire consisting of COVID-19 related questions, producing either an approval or denial based upon the responses. Where the customization occurred is we expanded the Therefore check-in solution, leveraging the existing technology already in place to create a then visitor registry for tracking and approving facility access by all non-BRC employees. Here's a basic workflow of the pre-configured solution. As you can see, you have visitor 1 and visitor 2. If you refer to the left, they answer a series of questions. At that point, it's going to generate and calculate a response, and that's going to trigger an approval or a denial. So at that point, that's automatically routed into an HR database for compliance, for company policy, to then route it into a Therefore archive for instant access, audit, anything needed within that information. Where the customization occurred is we created eForms for visitors, which were mostly made up of alumni and vendors. The complete form listed a variety of questions from the site location to which they're visiting, the employee's purpose of visit, along with the COVID-19 questions and time and date of arrival. This eForm is accessible through an email link or mobile application, however the client and vendor set this up. Once the form is completed, an approval or denial is issued, notifying both the guest and the site administrator via email. So both sides have an approval or denial, whether they have access to the premise. And then finally, a custom workflow is created to monitor the statuses of the approved site visitors. Here's an example of the workflow that we created with the customer to essentially execute this workflow that they had envisioned. It's not uncommon with many of our Therefore projects to have these customizations to which we can expand upon at a later date. I've seen this screen get much busier in some other applications, and we hope with BRC we'll continue to convolute the scripting behind the scenes. This is an example of the E4 template. e-form template that we customize here. You can enter the employee number. If you refer to the left, this is going to be the vendor information. This is going to be for the visitors. As you can see, their name, company, email, preferred method, requested appointment. If you refer over to the right, this is the employee screen where they're going to enter their credentials. It's a tab system, if you follow. The location data on the next screen, this is going to be for the visitors, and it's automatically going to pre-prompt their site administrator to have visibility. The COVID-19 questions are over here on the fourth tablet. This is going to be standard to both locations, from temperature, symptom check, travel check, contact check, positive test, etc. And then we have an additional data tab over here. This is if there's any further expansion or development within the solution at a later date. The therefore application continued. Once the approved visitor has completed their visit, they simply check out on the same application with their date and time. What this does, there's a record of the visit is ingested into Therefor's repository for record retention. In working with the customer over several months, the ROI was pretty apparent. First was varying compliances, being in a healthcare organization. Second was secure site accessibility. This was on the forefront and an initiative that was addressed with the COVID concerns, very audit friendly, and I would say most importantly, a platform to expand into other business processes. We've already had preliminary discussions in taking this application, expanding into HR and other departments within the organization. Our approach in Austin and Canon Solutions as a whole is really understanding a specific pain point and addressing that and then expanding. We're more than happy to what I call solve world hunger all at once, but oftentimes that can get a bit convoluted and a tough point to scope and start. So we really like to address a business problem and expand. In conclusion, I think the significance of this project is COVID-19 has accelerated the evolution to how organizations conduct business today. Companies are forced to rapidly address these changing dynamics. Two things that we've really seen in our clients is the focus on exchanging information and ensuring workspaces are safe and in compliance on the forefront of many companies' plans. And finally, I think it's paramount to partner with companies and vendors that have the ability to understand the evolving needs of business while leverage and even customizing technology in this post-COVID environment. So with that said, I would like to thank Therefore for all of their support and the opportunity to speak on this forum and all of our customers that we've partnered with. And we look forward to the next project. Thank you.
God, thanks so much. That was a great story and use case. So we really appreciate you bringing BRC recovery to the forefront here, so we can all, kind of take a look and see why they've been successful using Therefore. I'd also like to take this time to thank Darren, James, Ricardo, and Nancy. I think the really cool part about today was we're able to see such a great breadth of different use cases, right? So Therefore is, like we've said, it's the platform for real-time business. We have the ability to integrate and work within existing infrastructure. As Michael talked about, we are repackaging those microservices and being the consolidator of that, so that organizations can really use what they have and leverage Therefore to really impact the business through their digital transformation. So with that, we are really proud to be your trusted partners and see that you're achieving the results that you are. So we want to go further, and we want to deliver more and improve consistently, day by day, year over year. But how are we going to do that? And we're going to do that through our technology and through our vision. So with that, I'd like to move us to the next portion of this event. I'd like to introduce two people. We have Stefan Barr, who is Therefore's Chief Technical Officer and leader of the development team. Stefan has over 20 years of experience in information management software development and has played a major role in the company since its inception. And also, along with Stefan, is Wolfgang. And Wolfgang is our Vice President of Product at Therefore. He's a highly experienced software engineer, senior software engineer, excuse me, and has been part of the Therefore team since 2004, I believe. So it's my pleasure to introduce these two to you. So gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, take it away.
Thank you, Tommy, and welcome everybody to our technology session. My name is Stefan Barr. I'm CTO here at Therefore, and we would like to give you now some overview about the product. We want to talk about new features we have in the product, and we also want to talk about the vision for the future, where we want to go with the product. So this session now consists of these two parts, and the first one is the demo of recently released features, and this is what Wolfgang will show us in a demo now.
Yes, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this session. Well, Tommy was actually already quite well introducing myself, so I think not much to say. I have a quite long experience with Therefore. I'm part of the team for quite a while. Yeah, and I'm happy to show you the demo of Therefore. So let me just quickly share my screen with you. Stefan can maybe quickly tell me if it's visible.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Great. Okay. So the demo basically consists of two parts, pretty much. The first half of the demo is more on eForms. So we have prepared a quite nice use case demo for forms around the HR process, which I'm sharing with you. The second part of the demo is more around AP processing and especially integration into ERP systems. On this demo, we are focusing on Business Central, Dynamics Business Central. And last but not least, we're gonna show a little bit about the Therefore Dynamic Web View, the new web client, and here especially about case management in Dynamic Web View, which was just added for that release now, which is upcoming in Therefore 2021. But let me start this off with the eForms demo. And what you have here on screen already is actually already the first eForm that is building up this kind of HR showcase. And that's kind of a hub form. So on here you have the different like areas that you can access, like timesheets, leave requests, expense reports, and quite some others. It's even multi-language, so you could even go here and switch from English to Spanish or even French and back again. So that's quite flexible here as a hub. And yeah, let's maybe just jump into the first form that I can show you, and that would be the timesheet. So let me open it up. And how does it work and how does it look like when I fill it out? So let me start with entering my personal details when filling out this form. In terms of the timesheet, for sure, I have to tell for what week I want to fill out the form. So I'm going to select that week here. And what you see, automatically, it pre-populates a table with the different dates that you can basically start in to book your times. There's also immediate calculation on days happening at the top of the page. And yeah, so we're ready to go. So I'm going to just start to fill out my first day here. So I'm starting at 8 a.m. I was in the office until 5 p.m. and I had an 1 hour and 20 minutes break. When this is done, what you also see immediately is that you have here total hours being calculated per day. So whenever you start filling out the different areas of the form, it will calculate each of the days. So let's do maybe a second one. And you also see that there's a total time calculated at the top. So there is some calculations happening on screen here, and they are changed live whenever you start filling out the form and apply changes. Another nice thing you can do with this eForm is that you have a quick select option here, which is basically bringing up another screen here, and you can actually say, well, if my working hours are typically the same every day, you probably don't want to do it every day. So for every day separately, so it's fine to just fill out the form from here. And by this, pre-populate all the rows, have a calculation for each day, a total time, work time, and that's pretty much it. So that's a quite easy and straightforward way, for example, to automate such easy things and such regular happening things like a timesheet. To finalize this little thing here is that you can like sign this form and submit it to your HR department. In the background, now you're like we are getting back to our hub page where we can or could start a different form and a different process. What typically would happen now in the background is that the timesheet is saved to Therefore. I'm going to show you in a minute how this is looking like inside Therefore then. And that would, for example, trigger off a workflow, and this workflow could then be routed to the department head or whoever is, or the manager of that employee, who can then like approve or reject the timesheet by whatever reasons. And so you can fully automate this this process and have all the data being available inside the Therefore system. If we switch to Therefore dynamic web view, I'll quickly show you what's basically then saved to Therefore. So I'm going into my timesheets area. And I'm looking for my timesheets. Obviously using the wrong here. The right one. Yeah, let's open it up. And now we are at the right place. And that's what a timesheet that is saved after a eForm was submitted to Therefore. That's really the overview again. You have the signature on it. It's converted into a PDF file. It's available in the system. And you got all the data to run your processes and got your approval or your other processing inside the system. Let's go back to the eForms and let's showcase another form, which could be, for example, the expense report, which is a little bit of more complex form. Again, it starts off with providing my details here. Then next part of the expense report for sure is the time we're talking about. So yeah, again, let's take just a week in July or several days in July where I was traveling. There are different options for the type of expenses we had, but for now I'm going for the standard expense. And down here we then have a table where I can file one or multiple expenses to the system. So let's just create one expense. You see it expands to a quite extensive subform. Then let's just enter the different data we have here. So we have an expense coming from the date. I can update the receipt like here. So I can have it to my right. I see all the data from the receipt. So it's also quite neat and nice for data entry here. I can specify the type. I could either select from the list or I can just type it in and the list is automatically reduced to a fitting value. So it's a meal. I can provide the total amount and the amount without taxes. The tax value is automatically calculated from the eForm in this case. We can set a currency, a description, and save it. If you press the save button, you see that the data is shown in a very nice and like good to overview table structure here. But for sure, if you go back into the edit mode of that one line, you can again get the full view of the data. You could even get the screenshot, the receipt back. And so you can always also modify and update that row later on. Yeah, let's maybe create another one. Again, let's upload the expense first. So we have the data to draw it from. For sure, if you would be on a cell phone, for example, you could even use the phone camera to just take the picture live when you're filling out the form. That's also possible. Yeah, this is again a meal. 180. But one difference here is that this is now a foreign currency. So that was actually from Brazil. So let's change here the currency to others, which brings a new area down here where we can calculate the euro amount for that. So let's get the currency code in here. Let's define the exchange rate. And the calculation to the euro price is done immediately. Again, we press the save button. And so by that quite easy process, you can capture and get as many of expense lines as is required for your use case. There's quite some other nice feature that you can like also enable the total by categories, which means that we down here have then like a summary of all the expenses which have been added to the system, and they are kind of split up into different areas. In this case, it's quite easy because we just have 2 meals here. So that's just one line in here. But if there would be different types of invoices, you would see the split up into the different areas. Yeah, and if everything's done properly and correct, you can again press the submit button. The form is saved into the Therefore system again. when it is saved, it's once more converted into a PDF file to the system, and as previously mentioned, can trigger off any kind of process to validate the data in any means. So, and these are now basically just two of, I think we have prepared here 7 forms that could be used in such a process, and it's a quite neat and nice little demo which shows actually what capabilities the eForms have and how flexible they are, and how you can also lay out and show lay out the forms and structure them to your needs. What I also want to mention here is that on our extranet there is a white paper about best practices for eForms, which is also very good. So if you consider starting with eForms and building your first forms and integrating them into your process, I think this white paper is quite neat for you to know about and to give it a read, because I think this is quite good and very helpful. So this is the actually the section about the first part of the demo about the eForms. I see questions are coming in already, so we will handle then the questions at the end of the whole demo session. So please be patient. I will come back to all the questions in a minute. The second part of the demonstrations is now going to be more about accounts payable process. So what I'm going to show you next is actually accounts payable documents coming into the Therefore system and into a vendor case, actually. Immediately after they are popping in, they are actually sent to Business Central in the cloud, Business Central sandbox we use for the demo here, using the Therefore REST calls that also Nancy was already mentioning, which are new to Therefore 2020. And with this REST call, we are creating these invoices also in Business Central quite easily. So there's no double data entry, which is the biggest benefit of that. And you can and at the same time we can access the image in Therefore and show it and have full access to the data, which is the Therefore system. I'm starting this off by using the Therefore document loader. So this could now, like, this is simulating any kind of invoice recognition software. This is so any kind of invoice reading software can be used here. So I'm just popping in 6 documents now, and we quickly show what data we received there. One thing to mention is the Business Central connector that we're also showcasing this demo now is now starting to be available with Therefore 2021. So this is just released now with the next Therefore update. So we have imported 6 new documents. Let's just take a look at the vendor cases here. And that's a document we were just importing. So let's take a look at the data we got. So there's one example of such an invoice document where we got the vendor number, we got the name, we got invoice information, and we got, in this case, 4 line items, which is like shipping costs and 3 items from the list. We got an order number. So that's the data we actually were able to extract from the invoice. Another one, maybe here we got a different company, different customer. We got 2 line items in here. And if you take a look at the third one, maybe same here. So we got all the data available. For sure, it's very neat to not have a double data entry. So let's just now open our Business Central and see how the documents were arriving there. So we're now in our Business Central sandbox, which is hosted in the cloud by Microsoft. So that's a cloud hosted system. And we're going into the purchase invoices section here. And you see that we got 6 new invoices in here, which is pretty much exactly the same 6 documents I was just adding to the system a minute ago. If you open up one of those, for example, you can see the data was properly sent over. So we got the vendor name, we got the vendor contacts, we got the vendor invoice number, which was properly populated. We got all the 4 line items which have been on the original invoice. We got the line item costs, everything was sent across. And at the right side, you see an area which is called drag and drop documents and has a Therefore icon, which is basically one of the main parts of our Business Central connector. So that's the place where somebody can go, and you see there's a list of files attached to this invoice. And if you click it, It will open the therefore dynamic web view and will bring you immediately to the document that's associated with that invoice. So again, you see here that's the same vendor. You have the vendor invoice number there. You have your 4 line items which were properly transferred to Business Central. And you can also for sure check the index data here in the dynamic web, for which is pretty much the same. So the data was properly transferred from there to Business Central, and a link was established between the documents. But that's not all for sure. If you have now some supplemental documentation or some additional an email or whatever you received that you would like to attach to that document in addition, you can also do this very easily. So if I go now on my desktop and just go for my documents and say, for example, there's a service contract I would like to attach to this invoice, I can just easily drag and drop it onto the drop zone in the browser. It's uploaded, saved to therefore, and then immediately the service contract document pops up as another part of the document. And again, showing it is as easy as clicking the link here. It's again bringing you to the therefore dynamic web view, and you have the service contract here and can always access it at any time. It's pretty much the same for the other items. Let's just check 1 or 2 more. So we got here, for example, another invoice we have been seeing previously with 2 line items here. We got the vendor invoice number transferred properly. And also again, clicking the link brings you immediately back to the invoice, and you can easily and always access it and check it at any time. Okay, then next for sure in Business Central would be that you now book the invoice. So that's currently just a parked invoice, which can still be corrected. And if there is some data missing or some things need to be added, this could still be done. But now we're going to post it, so we make it the final invoice. And what's happening, this is now getting a new invoice number in Business Central, so a final invoice number. It's getting a posted document, and all the linked documents that we have attached to that invoice are transferred with it. So also in the posted area of all of your posted invoices, you still have all the links available. You have the invoice as a service contract. Everything's there, and that's throughout the whole system. So, and still you're able to also add additional documentation to it if you want. So that's actually quite nice. And as said, this is the therefore Business Central connector that we are just about to release now with therefore 2021, which is the upcoming release this year. So this is a little bit the second part of the demonstration, which was more around accounts payable. As I said, we're using REST technology to send the data across, and then we use the Business Central connector to process the data. Last but not least, I want to focus on new stuff that we have added to the therefore dynamic web view just recently, which is the case management. So now you're actually able to work with your cases just like in the regular classic therefore client. So here in the list, we can now pop up all of our vendor cases here. You see that we have like several cases down here. In the past, we were focusing on the customer DDS Melbourne, so we can do it again down here. And if you want to see the contents of that specific customer, you can always double click and you get into the new case manager module. How is the user interface for this case manager module? So on the left, you see your repository, which means that you have your vendor case and your sub areas. So the first area is the like generic or regular documents for that vendor. You could easily switch to the invoices area of the case where you see a list of invoices you have been receiving from that specific customer. We have another section for orders and for quotes. But this can be, I mean, the ones that have been working with case management already know that this is a very flexible structure. So you can always add new areas, new sections to the case. So that's not limited to these 4 parts. So it can be expanded quite easily.
Hey, Wolfgang?
Yeah.
Just a quick thing for the people on the call who are maybe more new to therefore, could you explain the difference between a case and a category? Just
okay.
so clear
Sure.
what they are.
Yeah, not a problem. The category is pretty much the foundation of the therefore storage system, which pretty much is the type of document. So typically therefore would have categories for correspondence, contracts, cases, contracts and documents. And the category basically defines the metadata that we save with a document. So for example, for invoices, you could have like invoice number, invoice date, amounts, and line items as index data. For a generic correspondence, it could be the sender, the recipient, the time, subject. So every category basically is a subset of documents and defines the structure of the system. The difference in terms of cases are that there is one more level of structuring with the categories. So it's basically a binder around the different types of documents. So if you talk about case management, we actually, like for example here for vendors, we first talk about finding the vendor, so like a specific customer, a vendor, and then actually have a substructure like here with different areas like documents, invoices, where we then find the documentation. So the case is basically a binder around multiple categories. I mean, that's maybe the easiest way of describing it. I hope this is somehow understood.
Yeah, great, thank you.
And inside this case now, as I said, I can go to the different sections and open and access my documents. So for example, here I have an NDA agreement that I was signing with the customer, so I can easily go here and open it. And then I'm getting down from the case level to a document level, can view the document, can work with the document by changing or downloading the file to my disk. I can either start also a task to send to somebody else. So then I have all the features available that I basically have for all documents. Yeah, on the level of the case manager, I also have different functionalities. For example, I can easily add new documents to the case here by pressing the Add Document button. I can edit the case header, which is basically I can change the information of the binder. So for example, if a customer changes his name or if the address changes, I can easily update the customer data from here. I can start workflows. So we also have workflows that are running not just on document, but we have also workflows that can be run on all cases. So we can also start the workflows and the tasks from here. One other quite nice feature for the case management is that we have this previous and next buttons down here. So if you need to go through multiple cases in a very quick manner, you can easily always click the button and open up like a different vendor now and see the documents and go through a list one by one, which is also added now. Which is also new to the dynamic web view is that the panels on the left and the right are collapsible now. So if you need more space on the screen, or if you have a very small screen, you can collapse these panels. And for example, for the commands panel, you still have all the commands available, even if it's collapsed. So you can easily click them from here and access it there. Yeah, this was pretty much the 3 parts of the demo that we have prepared for you. I think it's now time probably to go over to the questions that have been asked throughout the session and to answer those. So I don't know, Koen, how you want to do it. You want to? I guess you want to read out and we try to answer them then.
Yes. So I will read out some of the questions. So thank you. We do have a few questions. So I'll read them, and those that I can't answer, I'm going to ask for your help, seeing as I'm not a technician. So this first one I can answer. So first question was, will the configuration for these demos or eForms be available for us to adapt and use ourselves? A few people asked the different variations of that question. So this is in regards to the first eForms demo that we showed. Right now, we are using it internally. That was the one you saw was running on a therefore online system. We are working on making it exportable and importable to be used for demos or even as a base for further configuration. So it's not available just yet, but it's something that we're working on. So the next one was asked during the eForms demo. The question was, is that signature certified? So this is the, go ahead.
Yeah.
I think you know.
No, this is not a certified signature. Basically, it's drawn by the user onto the screen. So what we can do for sure is we can make sure that there is a signature on the document, so we can like make it a required field. But in the end, there is no real certification behind that signature. It's just a drawn signature with pen or finger on the cell phone to the document.
Right, or stylus on a tablet, something like that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yes. Is the expense reporting tool on Therefore available for smartphone? So yes, it is. It would work on a smartphone. So it's not like an app or anything separate. But the Therefore eForms, which are accessible through a web browser, also adapt to smartphone screens, to tablet screens. So yes, they're fully adaptable. So yes, they would work. Are the eForms available in the web version of Therefore? So the depending on what you're referring to as the web version of Therefore, the eForms in itself are actually online. So from a technical perspective, they're actually part of the web client. So yes, they do work. Actually, they have to work as part of the Therefore web version, the Therefore web client. Or just in case, if I'm misinterpreting that question, if the question is if they work for Therefore Online, the hosted solution, that as well. So yes, they do work. So is Business Central, okay. All right, this one's for you, Wolfgang. I'll read this one out. So is Business Central a templated solution for invoice process, or does it use AI to work with many different invoice types without setting up each individual invoice per vendor?
Well, the part that we were showing now here in the demo was actually not even covering the recognition part of the whole scenario. It was basically just covering the sending of the recognized information across to Business Central. So in this case, it's a templated solution to work with Business Central. So this is something you can easily export, import, and have the integration as part of our standard connector. But it was not covering the recognition part of it. So there was no AI or any OCR done. The demo was faking it. So we were assuming somebody else was doing the recognition for us in this demo.
So then there was a question about, Therefore, Smart Capture. So some of you may have heard of this. What I can say at this point is that it is not currently, not yet available in the Americas, but it's something that we're working on. So we are working with Canon to bring that feature to you. And it looks like that's it. There was a question about how T-Customs dealt with needing to have documents signed when it became 100% paperless. What we'll do with that one is we will follow up with that after the event. So we'll speak with the team and get the full details on that. Then let's see. Yes, there was another question about the G&W case study. So Paul, you asked that question. We'll get to that one as well. We'll get the details from Nancy about the specifics of the robotic process automation. And then there was one question which I thought was interesting. Was at the beginning when we were doing the polling, someone asked, is that a question Therefore eForm? So no, actually that one was us just using the polling interface within Zoom. But as you saw now from the demo that Wolfgang did, you can certainly use Therefore eForms in a very flexible way. You could even use it to do a questionnaire or similar application like that. So it looks like that's it. Yes, so thank you for your questions. In that case, Wolfgang, thank you for the demo.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Really awesome to see everything that Therefore can do. And especially the eForms actually learned something new from today's demo even. So that's cool. Great. So in this case, we can close out. Now, I did see we got two more questions. So one that I can answer and one that I will need your help with, Stefan. So let's maybe do the technical one first. Okay, so in regards to, I believe it was your last slide, we got the question was, does this mean that Therefore can talk to any XML-based platform?
Is this related to the REST integration? I'm not
Yes,
sure.
I
REST
believe
would
it was.
be,
I saw it pop up when that was on the screen.
yeah, REST is of course based on JSON. So this is not an XML based system, but REST is the modern interface which most cloud-based systems offer. And yeah, it's always a REST API with JSON. Yeah, JSON is the pendant to XML, which is used in the REST world. So this is our way to go. XML was in the SOAP world, which is less common in today's IT world. So this is not our focus.
Then there was another question, which was actually asked a little bit earlier. It seems like I missed it. I apologize. Can records management and governance rules be configured in Therefore?
So we are talking about retention rules and things like that. This is of course a feature in Therefore for a very long time. So you can define for all the different document types you have in the system how long they should be kept and when they should be deleted.
Yes, and then there was one question asked about an ROI calculator for Therefore. So Thibaut, thank you for the question. Unfortunately, we don't have time to answer it because we are just hitting our time up here. But we'll get back to you with this. We'll also loop Canon in on this, the marketing team in Canada. So we'll get back to you on this. Thank you. All right, so since we have just hit that magical number of 45 past, that's exactly according to schedule, we can get ready to close out today's session. Now, before we do that, we just wanted to do just a quick exit poll, like in the same way we did it at the beginning, just to get a little bit of your quick feedback about today's session. So just stick around with us for one more minute. Jen, Tommy, I'm going to ask you guys to help me with this one. So I'm gonna pull up the closing poll, which is super simple. Just 2 questions, launching it now. Please vote.
Awesome. All right, we're back with some polls. And first one is, this is a good one. Choose wisely. Which session was the most interesting to you from the event today? We got trying
to follow that up.
Therefore, tech demo, Tommy, customer presentations, other speakers, sessions, or all of the above. Sorry, Tommy, there you go.
And now, to follow that up, what area did you learn the most about today? Was it something that maybe you weren't expecting to learn? Was it a new feature? Was it the future of Therefore? So curious to know your thoughts about, what area impacted you the most this afternoon.
Votes are still coming in fast. Let's give it another maybe 10, 15 seconds. Quick. It's just 2 questions. Vote now, vote now, vote now.
And cue the speedy Jeopardy music.
Yes, see, we needed that. I needed that playing in the background. I think when people hear that music, they automatically think, oh, I gotta think fast.
What's the answer? What's the question?
Yes. All right.
Or completely blank.
Yeah, sure. I can't deal with the pressure. All right, so I'm going to end the polling and I'm going to share the results. Let's take a quick look. Looks like some good results.
Hey,
Nice.
All right, excellent. I love it. So we've got majority who found most interesting everything from today. So 2 thumbs up to that. Followed by tech demo. So that's, sounds right. A lot of really great stuff happening and upcoming. So excited to see these results. And at least you all got something out of the event today. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think that's proven exactly through that last polling question there is, what area did you learn the most about? And it's all of the above. So I think it's great to see that, there's a wide variety of knowledge and knowledge gaps that we can help address, so that we can help you close more business and make Therefore more important to your customers, and so that your customers can see that return on their investment within Therefore.
Great, thanks guys. So I will stop sharing the results now. Let me close this out. And at this point, thanks everyone for participating in the poll. Sorry, my Zoom screen just disappeared. At this point, I'd like to ask all members of the Therefore team, please turn on your cameras if you don't mind. Great. So we always end this event by just doing like a quick lightning round, just to ask everyone. Jen, we'll start with you. What was your favorite takeaway from today's event?
So kind of tracking to poll results, the tech. So I love the technology with Therefore. I love the vision, where we're going. Eforms all day long for me. So seeing the, HR eforms and what's possible with that was pretty awesome. So I love that Therefore is very innovative, and this just shows, with things like AI, other features like that now and upcoming, Therefore is the place to be.
Awesome. Tommy?
So, first and foremost, we have to take a look at the customer stories, seeing the impact that Therefore has on our customers, on our business as a real world application, becoming that service platform to do real-time business. I think that really hits home. It shows how and why the solution's effective for customers and their customers. And that's really, at the end of the day, what's important. The second part there, I really think that the diversity of people that we have on the call is something really, really fun. You're looking at the attendees. I think we have people from as far north as Canada all the way down to Chile. So it's a lot of fun to see everybody excited, really wanting to learn a little bit more about Therefore, excited about the direction of the product. So to me, that was a great takeaway from this afternoon.
Awesome. Michael?
We love listening to you, and we want to be the partner that delivers.
Fantastic. And on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for joining today. So a big thank you, of course, to our presenters today who shared these fantastic stories. To you as well, to our audience, of course, we couldn't have done this without you. And thank you so many of you showing up to this event. We really hope that you were able to learn from today. Our goal really is to make you, members of the Therefore community, successful. And we hope that that you got a lot out of today's event. And of course, if you have any questions, Canon, if you're a customer, Canon is your contact for Therefore. If you work for Canon, reach out to us, reach out to Canon marketing and product planning. Jen and Tommy are regional sales managers for the US. So you have a team both within Canon and Therefore available to help you out. Great. So on that note, thanks everyone for joining. Have a great, evening for most of you, afternoon or evening for most of you. And thanks for joining. Take care.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.